Welcome back to another review. I have a power bank in for testing today. It's the Aukey 12,000 milliamp hour version, and this was sent in by the company for a review. So as per usual, we'll just run over what's included, and not much to see on the box, just some basic information on the power bank, cautionary note on the back. And on the side you'll see there's a choice of two colours. I have the black version. You can also pick up a white, and there's quite a few other ones from this maker as well, different variety. Now onto the specs, you can see here looking through, and it is worth having a read through this because there are a few differences with some power banks, and I'll get onto those a bit later on. You'll see that you have the 3 levels of battery indicator, and it goes from a white, then to a green, and then to the red, and it uses the maker's logo as opposed to the small LED lights that you sometimes see on power banks. And the rest of it is just basic information and frequently asked questions. It's good that they've covered the areas in that user manual. That's your warranty card, and this is a relatively short micro USB cable that's also included. Now looking at the case on this, they've gone for a matte effect finish. It's about 15 centimeters by around about 5.5, just under in terms of the width. It's also a bit slimmer than some of the other power banks that I've looked at, but it's relative to the size as well. This is about a mid-level power bank, and obviously there's different form factors and shapes that makers do. And you can see the logo comes on when you press the power button. We also have a long press for the torch on and off. So they have got an LED torch on this, and you can see it on the side next to the 2 USB ports. These are both rated up to 2.4 amps. There's your power switch, fairly easy to find, quite a large button, and the micro USB charging port. On the back you've just got some specs and some safety certifications. So overall, comparing this on in terms of the form factor and size to the Xiaomi power bank, which I reviewed recently, obviously this is a little bit lower in capacity, but that makes it a bit more, perhaps not pocketable, but less weighty to take around, and it takes up less size. It's definitely a bit thinner than the Xiaomi. They're both using lithium-ion polymer batteries. Now the weight of the Aukey was just under the 230 grams, and around about 390 for the Xiaomi. Just take off a touch for the silicone cover on that. So when you're out of power on the Aukey, you'll see that the red LEDs flash under the maker's name, and then when you charge it up, you'll go through the different colours from red to green and then up to white, and the white stops flashing when it's finished charging. So I think it works pretty well, slightly different to other ones. Now the charge capacity was just under the 12,000 mark, and the discharge is what we're really interested in, was just under the 8,000. So be able to get 2 to 3 phone charges off of this, possibly a larger capacity tablet as well. Depends, you can work out on the capacity of the device that you're using. Now remember to press that power button to turn it on to start charging, and then pulling out around about 1.6 amps. I managed to pull almost 3.3 amps out of a single port, which is slightly above spec. And I could also pull out about 1.3 amps off of the other one. So those 2.4 can be split up in different areas. You wouldn't normally be pulling over 3 amps out of one port. It's nothing to complain about as far as that goes. If you're curious about the light, it's actually not bad, about 10 lumens, roughly, comparing to torches that I've used. So there's enough power here to get you out of trouble. Perhaps if you break down or you're out camping and you're stuck, you really should have a light anyway, but this would certainly do it in an emergency. So overall, it's quite a nice little power bank. I quite like the bar form factor. Perhaps would have gone with an auto start when you insert a device, but in other areas it certainly did a decent job in terms of the discharge capacity. It was certainly as good as I would expect from a good quality power bank. So thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and to check out some of my other power bank reviews.